Hey all, Duel here. This is a much more laid-back guide. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see. I have this note thing here. I'm recording this right after the last one. It's 3 a.m. currently. This is a guide about specifics over guns. What do I mean by that? We're gonna go over exactly how good each gun is, what it excels at, how you'll hear other people using it, what attachments you want to put on it, things like that. We'll start here with the most basic of them all, rifles. This is honestly not the quintessential rifle. If there was a quintessential rifle, it'd be the AK. This is the rifle you think of when you think of a rifle. This is what you think of. You'll hear people fire it like this. Remember, that's what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. You need to remember that sound. It's going to be a very common gun you'll hear. Typically, I would recommend putting a compensator on this, and if you're comfortable with ADSing it, a red dot. That way you can be able to aim, well, it looks like my aim's a little shit today, so that's fine. But it makes it a lot easier to control. You can see here, if I was to try to shoot at one of the dummies here, it is a lot easier with a compensator. Well, if I aimed better, it would be. Typically, I like to aim more at the head nowadays, but I assume that it has gone to the wayside. It's a very common gun. This is the FAMAS. It's much more of a mix between an SMG and a rifle. That's its damage drop-off looks a lot like a rifle, but its accuracy and a lot of other things kind of look like an SMG. This is to say, very great rifle. Genuinely amazing. You can fire hip fire. I think it excels a lot with ADSing. If you were going to ADS it, depending on the purpose you want it to fulfill, if you want it to be more further range, you're going to use it with this, with a compensator and a red dot. If you want it to be more close range, accuracy barrel, and a red dot. You hear that? Remember that sound. You will not hear that too commonly, but it's a scary fucking gun. We have the M16. You know what it sounds like? That's what it sounds like. Rarely will people ever switch it away from burst. Best things for it are red dot and compensator. Do not stand still with this. It's a great counter sniper weapon. I would recommend most times trying to ADS with it because the hip fire is pretty inaccurate. The ADS is laser accurate though. And you can spray and pray, but if you wanted to be a little more controlled, on the fall, you can see when I jump, my gun shakes. When I move left or right, my gun shakes. But on the falling, during the fall, my gun is still. So if I wanted to, I could shoot someone during a fall and have my shots be very accurate. Very good gun. Insanely good gun. But it struggles up close. AK, FAMAS, they're great with the SMG. That's a rifle. You're not going to be able to use that too far up close. This is slightly better up close, but not by much. Scar, you can use 4x scope if you want. I would recommend compensator and red dot. You can see how it excels. It's just like the AK. 5 less shots in the mag, and slightly less, slightly more damage. Remember, that's what it sounds like. You'll hear this one slightly less commonly, and I think typically you'll probably hear this one a little more. You'll hear people tap fire it a bit more. Remember, if you hear someone tap firing it, it's likely a little less scary than hearing them full auto it. MP44, it's a little rarer to hear this one. It's a very powerful gun, very powerful. I would recommend compensator and red dot as usual. Very good with it, and if you like the recoil, and if you're good with it, I'd recommend even a 4x scope. Personally, I'm not good with scopes, but if I could aim, it would be great at shooting the far targets. I think I need to get a little more. This is definitely not a gun I'm very excellent with, I would say. Clearly, I mean, obviously. I think I do better with guns with higher fire rates because they kind of give you their own laser sight through their own bullets. AUG. I think a gun where it's acceptable to keep the iron sight, but it kind of depends. I still like the red dot, but it's not great for this one. Honestly, you don't need any attachments for an AUG. These are, I think, preferred, but AUG's recoil and accuracy all by default are very good stock. I think that this is a gun that excels a lot with Storm, at least from what I've heard from Dink and Indeed. It's pretty good with the Storm, pretty good with things that kind of base off things that Storm is what it's good with. It's a little more of a rarer gun, so you might not hear it too often, but I think I tend to be pretty scared of the AUG. Here we have the M14. You'll hear this one way more commonly fired like this. You'll hear people shoot it like this. And I will remind you, for anyone who is not familiar with the M14, do not auto-clicker it. If you do, you are a fucking loser. This is what this sounds like whenever I am clicking. This is what that sounds like whenever I actually focus on aiming. Insanely powerful gun. You can fire it depending on whatever speed you want to fire it at. You can fire it based on how close someone is or how more aimed your shots need to be. You can see that. Remember, the first shot you fire is always completely accurate, no matter if you have a cursive inaccuracy or whatever. It is always entirely accurate the first shot. And so, you can kind of meter it out a little bit, or you can still, at this range, still hit a spray and pray. And it's still a very good gun. Insanely good gun. We're talking, this has the damage of the MP44 and the bar. Which is surprising, because I actually didn't know the bar was that strong. Speaking of, the bar. I don't believe you can switch. Yeah, this is the first machine gun, but it's a lot more like a rifle. I'm calling it a machine gun because you can't switch to single fire. You'll hear it fired like this. Oh, by the way, if you hear the M14 being fired like what you heard, be scared. But, very powerful gun. I think if you don't like having to break your fingers, and if you don't like cookie clicker, or you don't click faster than 8 clicks a second, this will be your M14. You'll enjoy it. It's a little more inaccurate, quite a bit actually, but the recoil is quite a bit high. I think it's a fun gun. It's definitely a fun gun. I don't like it over the AK, but it's it packs a punch. If you hear someone firing it, again, be mindful that it's like 2 headshots to die. It's not fun. Let's see, another foul. The first DMR. This is the DMR, I would say. I would think that you should put, by the way, most of those are compensators from before. This is one of the few ones where it's very, honestly, maybe 4x scope. Double barrel might, maybe not. Maybe if you're close enough, it doesn't look like double barrel is that good. I think compensator is pretty good though, because you can see how much the screen kicks up from shooting it. With the compensator, it only does this. It's a little less painful. This does like 98 damage to the head up close. I have done many headshots with this, but only on my teammates, just because I friendly fire. Not on purpose, of course, but it's just a thing that happens. At least on that day where I was using it. Much more of a rare gun. I think it's pretty interesting to hear. I'm not sure if I'm ever scared when I hear it. But it is a very powerful weapon. Now we have the 2 lookalikes. These are both one-shots within either, I think it's 8 meters for the Garand and like 9 for the Winchester. Very high-power rifles. Except they fucking suck. They are DMRs, I would say, but they're more like poor man snipers. You'll typically hear people firing it like snipers, or sitting on a hill, like that one right there, and they will sit there and shoot at you standing still for the entire game. I think if you hear someone firing it like this, maybe you should be a little more worried, but it's also not a great gun for that purpose. But I would say I prefer Garand over Winchester, at least personally. But they are both very similar, and these are dummies, remember that, but in a real game, these are horribly hard to use. I don't like them too much. I don't tend to be scared when I fight them, but I don't push within 10 meters, so I don't get that one shot to the head. Because again, that's a real risk. You can just instantly die to them. We'll go to the S7. This is probably one of the last rifles that we have. I would say 4x scope, compensator. Because it's definitely not an up-close weapon. You remember how I said the M16? This is like the M16, but even longer range. Fighting with this up close is pretty painful, but this is what the bullet fall looks like. Just about none, if you were wondering. I could put an 8x scope on and shoot that far target over there, and you can see that it's very accurate. It's very low recoil, at least with the compensator. Painful to use, painful to fight. And also, I think I'd be more scared of most other guns because it's just so painful to use. Kar 98K. I will say, you can do this, and I don't agree with it. I really don't. I think it's kind of lame, and I'll go over why I don't think it's fair, but this is what it sounds like. You'll hear that a lot. You need to be scared of that. That's a one-shot kill from any distance to the head. If I could hit it, I hit it. And with a double barrel, it is a one-shot to the body as well, assuming both shots connect. What's it gonna look like if I only hit the arm? It's not a... yeah, okay. You have to hit both shots in the body for it to kill like that. And I say that, I gave you a warning before this. If you see someone doing this, you know what's happening. It's lame as hell. And I'll go over it. You can cooldown cancel. And so, if you're wondering what that is, the Kar 98K... has a cooldown before you can fire it again, but not if you switch to another gun. Why do I call this unfair? In other games like CSGO, this is actually a tactic. In TABG, this desyncs. So people would hear this shot, and then everything after this, you can hear it, but no one else you're shooting at can. They can't see the bullet, they can't respond to it. Therefore, I do not consider it to be a fair tactic. But it is something you might fight because it is something that grows more popular kind of by the month, as tryhards get more and more illusory. Really big Barrett. If you see it, have fun. It's a one-shot like shot. Barrett. I'm not great with snipers. I would say 4x scope, fast barrel, honestly. Or 8x scope if you're more comfortable with that. In my experience, I'm not great with the aiming, but you will hear this one. It's kind of actually sniping, it's kind of a worse op. It doesn't do as much damage. But it has another way that people fire it that I call the field Barrett. As in, you put a red dot in it, compensator, and you fire it like an M14, because it will fire at that rate. Is it effective? It's still a one-shot headshot, but typically people don't actually hit that. In fact, most times you'll hear someone firing that, they don't hit anything. But the risk of one-shot headshot is always not fun to hear, and if I hear someone field Barretting, I have a problem. I have a problem with it. We'll go with op. I would say, again, same sniper things, whatever you prefer. No damage drop-off, as all snipers do, besides the Garand and Winchester, because I consider them snipers, but they're not actually. You hear that, that's what it sounds. It's a very distinct ring. If you ever hear that faster than this, I would be worried that you have the best gun in the game in your lobby, and if so, I have fun killing him. Have fun killing him. Unless you don't, in which case, shit out of luck. I would say it goes probably pretty well with the fire rate barrel, or the heavy barrel. Almost certainly the double barrel. The double barrel would do great for this thing. Because again, one shot body shot is one shot body shot. If both shots hit. If both shots hit. Which again, they don't always, but with snipers, it's with the scope that likely would have hit. But again, sniper, it's essentially the same as, it's actually exactly the same as the Kar 98K with probably a different cooldown and double the mag size. We'll move on to the SMGs. The musket. No damage drop off. You can see the bullet fall. It's quite crazy. I think fast barrel would go pretty well with this. I like the red dot. People also like the irons a lot because the irons are still pretty clean. Not a one-shot leg shot. But I would say do not put a heavy barrel or a double barrel on it because, again, it's a one-shot body shot unless I was to only have one shot connect, and of course it hits that time. But if only one shot connects, so much for that. Just know that if only one shot hits the body and one shot hits the arm, it's no longer that one shot. Am I just wrong? Have I been wrong this entire time? I have to actually test this. I need to actually test this. I have no clue. We'll shoot here, and this might be pretty... I guess I'm wrong. It looks like it's a one-shot to the... Okay, good to know. I did not know that. I guess double barrel could be alright with it. It might be able to make the... Actually, if we shoot the legs, we can see a little more of what that might look like. I see. That didn't kill. Okay, so it's a one-shot to the body and arms if it hits those two. If it hits to the legs, it is not a one-shot. Double barrel might go well with it. I still think fast barrel still would be better. I guess that's a dealer's choice on that one. VSS. It has a scope on it. I would not use it, but it is a very good scope if it wasn't the VSS. Insanely good SMG. This is what it sounds like. You need to learn what this sounds like. Typically, people will put a spray on this because it goes really well with the spray. Very accurate gun, insanely scary to fight, insanely fun to use. It handles very, very well. I'd say if you like more aim-focused guns, you'll love the VSS. I think it's probably one of my favorite SMGs. But 20 mag size makes it difficult. AKS. Doesn't really need any attachments. In fact, it's actually one of the better SMGs. If you were going to put on something, though, this goes really well with an accuracy barrel. It makes it go from this to laser accurate. It's very good. And again, as most SMGs do, if I didn't whiff every shot, if we can see what that looks like without whiffing every shot, it's very powerful. Very fucking powerful SMG. I think I like others still more, but like most SMGs, I would be scared if I heard this. Especially if I heard a burst of this and saw on the bottom left someone get a kill. Then I'd be worried. Thompson. Again, this is the quintessential SMG. That's what it sounds like. You can hear it. It's a little more, a little more, I guess, plucky. I would use to consider it like almost like rice, but I think the minigun more like it for that. Fast barrel can help deal with the slow bullets. Most times you're gonna want an accuracy barrel on this or some sort of common weapon mastery. Makes it a lot easier to use. But even stock, it is still a damn good SMG if I could hit my shots. Because this is, it does the same damage as the AK, at least up close. With a lot of damage drop off though, so with most SMGs, besides the VSS actually, the VSS is, that's, the drop off of the VSS looks a lot like the AK. But with the Thompson, don't use it past like 25 meters, I think. MP40, again, I suck with this one. I am fucking terrible with it. If you're going to use anything, I think double barrel might not be awful. Fire rate barrel might be alright, but I think I'd rather use another SMG at that point. I don't know what to say about it. If you can hit the shots, this is an insanely good weapon. Most times I hear someone fire this and I'm not that scared, because personally I know it's a hard to handle gun. But if you can handle it, it is a fucking beast. Personally, I don't like it too much, because I suck with it. PPSH. I've come back around to it. This is an insanely good gun. For newcomers and really good people alike. It means that whenever I'm having a bad aim day, I can be secure in knowing that I don't have to reload for a while. For new players, it's very easy to use because of that it is inaccurate, meaning that if your aim is shit, there's still a chance you hit the head. That's what I'm saying. And so if your aim is shit, you're going to be going through more shots. But because of the high mag, you don't have to worry about that as much. I've been getting really into using a fire rate barrel with this. I know I grilled Ryan for that, but I think the fire rate barrel goes pretty well with it. Just because of the high mag size. Easy to handle, very fun weapon. Again, very distinct sound. You know it when you hear it. It's also the fire rate. You can really tell. We'll get to some of the shotguns. That's when things will get very technical with sounds, and honestly, it's not worth remembering them. Because you'll just hear a shotgun and know, okay, if I'm hearing 2 bursts of them continually, it's someone sawed-offing. Otherwise, I just have to hope and pray. UMP. Very powerful SMG if you are good at handling recoil and good with your accuracy. As in, if your aim is good. I keep telling this story that I dueled Computery. He's a dev for the OG TABG. He is the dev for it. At least the remake of it. This is to say, I dueled him with a Thompson. I slapped him to the ground. I dueled him then with a UMP. I think he went 25-3 against me. That's to say I ate shit and died. This is a gun that's amazing if your aim is good. Otherwise, I'd stick to other SMGs, but this is, again, you can see that. If you can hit those headshots, it is insane. It's a much more, again, you can hear it, it's a very ricey gun with a more ricey sound, that is. You know, rice falling. A little more of a high pitch to that. P90, very distinct sound as well. You hear that, you know it, you hear it. Fairly inaccurate. People don't like it because of that, but you can see it's not that inaccurate. Again, very powerful. I think I'm kind of coming away from this, but up close, this thing's a fucking beast. At this distance, it seems to be alright, but it's mowing through people. Very good thing. As with most SMGs, accuracy barrel would be great for it. You can also just have it stock and replace it with a better SMG later on. At least that's what I do, but if you want to run P90, it's a very good gun. Accuracy barrel, I say. Just don't make it more accurate than you can handle. You know, sometimes people make guns... People put an accuracy barrel on the Rainmaker or an accuracy barrel on the AA-12 and then promptly miss everything because it's hard to aim guns. Sometimes the inaccuracy can make up for your bad aim. Because sometimes my aim is shit. Vector. I fucking love it. High power. Sometimes it's a little more painful to use. I guess it worked better for me earlier. But you can see it's very effective. This is an ADS this is an ADS SMG. There are some SMGs that benefit a lot from ADSing. VSS is one of them. This is another one. Why do I say that? This is what this looks like without ADS. This is what that looks like with ADS. Much more tight pattern. Meaning that you can do much more of that to someone. And so, remember, don't ADS at all times, but if someone's moving predictably or not at all, ADS all you want. Get that first strike on them down. It's a very scary gun to fight, as most SMGs are. And honestly, I mean, you hear it. You know it. Browning. Much more rare one to hear. Typically, people stay away from it because of the high recoil. If you can handle it, though, no compensator. It's pretty terrifying. Now, it seems that I can't handle it today. Typically, I can handle it. I think maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm coping. But it's scary to fight a gun that never has to reload. With the compensator, of course, it's way better. I feel at that point you could probably put a fucking scope on the thing. But that's a compensator moment. I wouldn't blame the actual gun for that. It's pretty high power, but the SMGs tend to have higher DPS, and this excels, I think, whenever you, as a player, don't have that amazing aim yet, where you're really getting the benefit from something like the AK, but your recoil control is getting there where you want to... I mean, first of all, the recoil on this thing is insane. So if you can handle this, you can handle most guns. And so it's a good trainer for learning recoil, and if your recoil isn't there yet, you have 500 shots to go, and you've never seen fear in a player's eyes until you just don't reload. MG42, best gun in the game. Obvious thing is the compensator. Vampire honestly goes really well with it. But you can see, uncompensated, it is a beast. With a compensator, it is insane. Nothing to say about it. If you hear it, you know it. It sounds like that. Remember, that is one you will definitely need to remember. It is a fucking beast. As I said, one of the best, if not the best, common guns you can find in the game. And it's way too common in my opinion. I swear to God, that shit could be as rare as the AUG and people would still fucking suck it. Because it is insanely good. If you don't believe me, try it yourself. It is good. Minigun. People give it a bad rap. It is insane. Because most miniguns are, of course. At this range, it's a little more painful, but the effective range is more like here. And remember, at this range, you see a minigun, you are dead. A little more further away, we can have a weapon master on this, but it doesn't really need it. You can see that. It's a very fucking big ammo hog. Remember, even if you get a legendary weapon mastery, I would not put a scope on this. I wouldn't try to use it at long range. It's not good at that. Even with the weapon mastery, I've tried it so many times, it's not good at it. But you'll very rarely hear people fire that in bursts. You'll typically hear them fire until you'll see a death message. Either them dying or someone else dying. Missile launcher. Used to be insanely cracked. Nowadays, I think this kind of sucks dick. I like, a lot of people like it, and I understand. It's a cool gun. I think without the wind-up, it could be a lot better, but it's just not that good. This is what direct hits look like. A lot of damage, but rarely will people stand still, and rarely will they have a wall right behind them and a floor right beneath them. This is what this will look like without any of that. We'll try to aim at the floor next to this guy. Hey, we got the other guy. Okay. I assume there's a little more learning. Remember, within, from 10 meters, it will hit that and blow up. A little closer, it will bounce. Remember that. So if you're fighting someone with a missile launcher, you can teach them a lesson by just walking towards them. They will not be able to respond because they have one entire fucking gun slot missing. I need to try it. I need to learn more about it. It seems effective at blowing up cars. Other than that, I don't see much of a reason for it, and I don't see... It's a massive ammo hog, and I'd rather save my big ammo for the potential OP-74U, and I don't like it too much. I need to learn MGL. It's another car killer. It's one of those things that are... Because it's a grenade, you need to remember, whenever you shoot someone with a gun, your bullets, if you say you hit them, you hit them. So sometimes you'll get hit from behind a wall, you'll die from behind a wall, typically to people with bad ping, or maybe you have bad ping. You'll die to people from behind a wall. With grenades, anything like this, summon rock, grenades, even if you get a hit marker, it doesn't mean anything. It is only registered as damage you do if the enemy person says they got hit by it. Sometimes you'll hit an implosion, and you'll see the guy not go down. Sometimes you'll hit a rock and you won't get a kill. Remember, a rock is always a one-hit kill no matter what. It's a one-hit kill. If you don't get a kill on it, you'll still heal the full if you have a vampire, but they took no damage at all. This is one of those things where if someone is on their screen in the perfect place, they die instantly. They just die. There's nothing they can fucking do. But otherwise, it's kind of a meh gun. It's pretty meh. I think most times I'd rather an actual gun in this slot, but I think that it has potential. I mean, clearly, you can see it. It is good, potentially, I think. I'm not showing you really big Barrett. You know it. You know what a really big Barrett is. You'll see it. Glocky. This is one that is, this is it does 15% less damage than the Glock. It's way more accurate. I think ADSing or not ADSing, it's still pretty good. Giant fucking ammo hog. I'm not going to fire it too much because of that. One of the better SMGs by far. Very good. I think it could use an accuracy barrel. Weapon Master could go alright with it. Spray tends to be wasted because it'll just tear through more ammo. I don't tend to like that too much. Other than that, pretty scary gun to fight. Very scary gun to fight, especially with some sort of ice. It fucks. But, again, ammo hog. If you like it, if you want to use it, do use it. It's a very fun SMG. Nowadays, I don't run it as much, but I used to love the thing. MP5K. Unless you're cheating, unless you're an insta-healing cheating bastard, I hate this thing, typically. I think it is potentially a good gun, but I don't think it stands up to the other actual SMGs. Unless you're cheating, in which case it's the best gun in the game, but I don't consider that to be fair. I will not go over that cheat. I'll tell you about the, the Car 98K bullshit, because that's something you'll encounter. The insta-healing thing, you don't encounter as much, so I'm not going to pretend that that's a real risk. I can hear a vacuum. I'm sorry about that. Rainmaker. If you can handle it, accuracy barrel. Otherwise, I think fire barrel might be alright with it. I'm not sure. I think it might be. Either way, it's an AA-12 that's, I guess, slightly easier to handle. Much more medium range, I guess. It's not doing too much, but it seems that it might be that might just be user error. I think it's an alright gun, far more rare. You'll hear it, you know it. I think it's a very unique sound for a shotgun. Now, the AA-12. This is the, I guess, brother? The brother, I'll call it the brother. Accuracy barrel if you can handle it. Otherwise, it's pretty accurate still. Very scary gun to come up with up close. I think, probably better than the AKS to fight. But again, ammo hog. And that matters because it's shotgun ammo. And shotgun ammo is important because it's what the sawed-off uses. And so, I don't typically run it too much, but you'll hear it, you know it. It's not one you want to push, because you will just die to it. Mac 10. Notably not the Moneymaker Max. The damage drop-off is like 21 to 8 over fucking 10 to 20 meters. If you're using this at any range like here, you're... Actually here, at this range, you're wasting your time. This is how close you want to be. And it does good at that range. For a pistol, I think most times you'd rather an actual gun. I think dual-wielding it, people like to dual-wield the G18C. If you want to dual-wield a pistol, dual-wield the Mac 10s for that. G18C, we're going to grab it. It fucking blows. I'm going to keep it real with you. This thing fucking blows. Do you see this? I'm going to need to restart the shooting range so that you can see this fully, because this is an important one to show you. If I grab this here, there it is. We'll grab 2 Glocks. I told you this blows. For the longest while, about 1,000 hours, I only hip-fired this thing. And so hip-firing it, you can see it do this. And you see the gun kick around. This is what that looks like using the dual-wield bug in first person. You can see that. It kicks around an insane amount. Remember, dual-wielding reduces damage by 15% and decreases accuracy. But if you actually ADS the thing, fully dedicated ADS, it's like this, which is far more reasonable. And so it seems that it might be a contender with about 75 ammo, it looks like. That's to say safely, it looks like you can do it within a mag pretty reliably. Not reliably, not on a moving target. 3 mags, I think, is what you'd need to really get a comeback with a gun like this. Dual wielding it, I wouldn't recommend it. It's a waste of ammo, giant waste of ammo. I'd recommend using the standard method. M1911s. I think pretty dual wield, it's pretty good for dual wield. I think it's pretty good for dual wield. I like to fire like this. Pretty alright. I think it's pretty rare to hear people firing this though. Pretty fucking rare. But there's nothing to that. Deagle. If you're using this past 15 meters, you're wasting your fucking time. Otherwise, it's a very powerful gun. Very powerful pistol up close. At this range, it's not so much. Closer, this is insanely fucking painful to fight. But again, as with most pistols, you don't tend to see them being used against rifles, because you're not going to believe it. No matter how good a pistol is, unless it's that one and you have good aim, they're just not that great. So we'll go over the few remaining pistols. A lot of them are very unique, and you can kind of tell what you're fighting, and none of them are too good. The revolver. A few times I've seen people kit these things out with like a 4x scope, a compensator. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend just getting an actual rifle. Luger is much more of a sniper pistol. Sniper pistol being an oxymoron. Don't actually use it at that, but it's a high power pistol. Beretta, 51 damage a burst up close. Pretty fucking good. Honestly, there's been one time 51 damage, 3 hit. Each shot does 17 damage to the body at 0 meters. So, if you're up close, there's a chance that within a mag, you're going to pretty reliably kill someone. But again, I've seen one time in all of my hours where a Beretta was better than an AK. Ask B-Eater about it. I think most times pretty useless, as most pistols are. And now we get to the more interesting ones. If you have good aim, and you are good with trick shots, within 8 meters or some shit like that, this is a one-shot to the body. At any range, this is a one-shot to the head. With the lit beats, it is insanely fucking good. This one as well. If you want to put a fast barrel on this, it'll make it go... well, I'll show you. Because I think this is probably one of the more interesting things to talk about with it. For lit beats, it will not work on the dummies properly. Remember, lit beats is not working properly. And so instead of this being 30% damage, it's incorrect. It doubles the velocity, fucks up your velocity if you don't fire on beat. No matter what lit beats it is, regardless of blessing, 50% damage, not of what you do, but of what the gun would do at 0 meters to the head. And so I say that because it makes something like a flintlock, the damage drop off, matter way less because you have that constant. And again, you can see what this looks like. Without the fast barrel, it falls off there. With the fast barrel, it goes there. And with the lit beats taser, I think I can, Yep, you can hit someone really far before it falls. And you can see that. It'll very suddenly fall off, but that goes around... what? We'll say 70 meters. 70 meters before hitting ground. If you like tasers, honestly, it sounds pretty good, but I don't care for it. I'd rather actual rifles. If you like it, you could probably do a lot of shit with it. Blunderbuss. You'll see people running this all the time. It is frustrating as hell to fight. It is rolling the dice. I hope to God you roll it well. Because sometimes this will one-shot. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll be right up close and it won't do anything. We'll see if we can get some of that. There it is. There it is. So sometimes, up close, it will be killing. Sometimes it won't. I have a clip of me getting one shot at, what this distance? About here. About here is how far I got. And he one-shotted me right to the face. It just happens. It's a blunderbuss. As you get better at the game, it gets worse and worse. As your aim gets more and more reliable, I'd recommend you use guns that make use of that. If you're kind of a, just getting there to being an alright player, maybe even closer to good, you might still like the blunderbuss. I assure you, as you get better with this, you're going to like it less. It would go pretty well, I believe, with an accuracy barrel or a lit beats. From what I've heard... From what I've heard... oh, it's because lit beats won't proc on the dummies. Yeah, I'll do it. I've heard good things about lit beats blunderbuss, but I have not tried it for myself. You will need to do that yourself. Mossberg. I hear good things about lit beats Mossberg. Again, if you're using this at any range, you need to be here. You need to be here. Otherwise, you are wasting your fucking time. Don't try to aim for the head. Remember, shotguns do not differentiate damage based on body type. They do the same damage to all parts of the body. I would recommend an accuracy barrel or not. Depends on your aim. If you are comfortable with being able to hit that shot, accuracy barrel. Otherwise, keep it stock. Most times I would drop it very quickly. Arnold. Useless. Almost certainly useless. One shot can be possible with if you're close enough with double Arnold. With double barrel, it can be a one shot from slightly further away. But most times, this is a waste of your fucking time. I will reiterate that. Most times, this is a waste of your fucking time. This is a very common range for fights, and you can see you need to get way closer, as you do with most shotguns, but this one is particularly useless. What's a good use case for it? Someone's down on the floor, you don't have a sawed off, and you want to finish them off quickly, you just bang their body a few times and they die. Sawed off. My favorite tertiary slot in the entire fucking game. That's why. Don't use it as a gun. Do not use this as a gun. But for movement, I think you can rival the rare speed, but at the cost of ammo every second. Again, very good. Anytime you get implosion, tasered, knocked on your ass, you break your legs after a fall, you just hit this and suddenly you're no longer in danger. At least you're going to continually do that until you aren't. I wouldn't recommend any attachments for it. Remember, attachments that reduce recoil. This is to say, not the weapon mastery, but suppressor and compensator. I'll show you. This is what it looks like without. You can see I make it up here fairly easily. With a compensator, it does not do that. This compensator will reduce how far it kicks you. That is a terrible thing. Do not compensate it. For the attachment, at best, I think I'd recommend a fire rate barrel. I haven't tested that though, so don't take my word for it. Attachments-wise, you would love a recycling for this. I think it's pretty infuriating to fight, but that is because it is a good thing to fight. It's good. It's a good thing for you. Because anytime you're in danger, you're already going to be using your sawed-off to run the fuck away. Now you'll be healing 20 HP every single time you do it. But it is very shotgun ammo heavy. Very shotgun ammo heavy. The better you are using it, the more poor you will be for shotgun ammo. Crossbow pistol. Same deal with the flintlock. No damage drop-off. No close range body shot, one shot. If you're comfortable with it, you are. Otherwise, it's a pocket one shot. If you can hit it, good. But I wouldn't fire it more than once at the start of a fight because you're wasting your time otherwise. Most times I would say, I hate to use terms that are so tactical, but I would call it an alpha strike where you just fire one shot and then use your actual guns. Crossbow. If you're good with it, you're good with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking use it. But if you can hit the shot, it is a one-shot body shot. It'll leg someone for like 98 damage. Like 98 damage. I call it legging because whenever you leg someone, you'll see them on the ground for a while and you'll just feel yourself fucking prone. You lose all ability to move and you're essentially dead. It's the same thing with the crossbow shot pistol to the body. You are all but dead. Taser crossbow. First of all, they fucked it up, and so instead of using bolts, it uses taser ammo, which wouldn't be a problem if it didn't spawn with 20 bolts next to it. Otherwise, I'd say it's pretty fucking useless. Given that the actual crossbow is a one-shot to the body and this one isn't, I would say it's kind of an insult. Auto crossbow. B likes to call it the poor man's OP-74U. I will say it's a very high-powered gun. You can put a heavy barrel on it if you want. You can put a compensator on it if you want. Remember, this is a gun you pick up and you drop. Why do you pick it up or why do you drop it? It's because look at my bolts. It's 2 shots to the head, sure, but you will never have enough bolts to run this thing all game. And if you're ammo duping, I hate you, you're a loser, stop doing that. Try having fun next time. Otherwise, you're a normal player, you do not have enough bolts for this thing, and so it's only powerful, it's only overpowered for as long as you have bolts. And I like to say bolts for a grapple or something better, but if you don't care for that, auto crossbow is damn good temporarily. Balloon crossbow. Same shit with fire or work crossbow. If you get shot in the arm with it, it's pretty hard to aim. But just because you hit someone with the arm with it, doesn't mean they got hit in the arm with it. What do I mean? I said that damage is calculated based on what you said you did. But this is calculated like a grenade. As in, where that balloon is placed off of where they see your shot went. Sometimes your shot didn't hit them. You'll still do damage, but your shot didn't hit them. And so, only if your shot hits them, they see your shot hits them. So if you have bad ping, or if they have bad ping, good fucking luck. Will this be painful? Because if you get shot in the arm, your arms suddenly go like this, it's hard to aim. With a firework crossbow, it's fire-o-work, sorry. because they added an O to it. Look at that. I'm not making that up. Fire O work. It's a little more painful, but if you can hit the shot and they see that you hit the shot, it is hard to fight against. I think in a squad, it has a place. Gaussbow, you would like a fast barrel on this. This is what it sounds like a crossbow. You can hear it. If you stick someone, they die. Unless, of course, they didn't see you stuck them. Sometimes you'll hit someone with it. I think it does like 130 damage total. Like with the explosion. But sometimes you hit them, but they don't see that you hit them. And so, if they don't see that you hit them, you're only doing the bolts damage. Otherwise, pretty good crossbow. I like it a lot more than I do the usual one, but that's just personal preference. And now, I should talk about the ringing of the shotguns. Because this one, it is painful. Here we can hear what the sawed-off sounds like. You don't actually need to know what it sounds like, because you're going to hear it fired like this. For the Mossberg, it rings down. Do you hear that? You can hear the ring, and then it goes down. Okay? And I say that because if I pick up the Arnold, you can hear it ringing up. And when does this matter? Exactly fucking never. But if you know you're fighting an Arnold, you can know that you're pretty typically not supposed to be any scared at all. Here are your weapons. Jarl Axe, if you hit the special ability on someone, it ices them to shit. What the fuck? I'm whatever. I've never seen that one. Rapier, the alt ability sucks dick. I would not use this. I've seen someone get a kill, I think, 3 times in my last 1150 hours with it. Viking Axe attacks very quickly. Again, I don't like melees. I don't recommend them. Sets up this big old wall. Can be pretty helpful. Can be pretty annoying. Pretty good. Saber. I do nothing but get hit by this whenever someone throws it. It is a pocket implosion grenade, but you need to remember, this fires out a grenade. And so, it only hits if they say it hits. And so on your screen, you can see them flying in the air, but on theirs, it didn't hit them at all, and they're still shooting you as if nothing happened. You need to remember that. Because with the implosion grenade, it's a large radius. It's rare that it fucks up like that. With the Saber, this is the whole radius. It is pretty common that it just doesn't do shit. And that is a problem. And now I'm going to talk about the Katana. I gave this a bad rap, and I still do give it a bad rap. I still do not recommend that you use swords, or really any melee. But if you time it well, we'll try it on you. Ah, fucking hell. Come on. This is going to be a little painful for me. I'm still very inexperienced with it. Oh, God, fuck you. He went another ground. Have fun. If you time it well, you can hit and dash at the same time to still get the one shot. Is that fun to fight against? I'm sure it is not. Oh, by the way, Ballistic Shield doesn't work on your back. If you thought it did, it doesn't anymore. It still blocks... I think it'll block Volley Grenade. I don't like it. I think it takes 2 people to make the Riot Shield entirely useless. But otherwise, I don't know, it's funny. I fucked it. God damn it. Let's see it, come on. There it is. That's what it looks like. You can hit the one shot on someone. For me, the timing's hard, but it looks like you can learn it pretty easily. Either way, hope you'll enjoy this. I know it's a little more rambly, but you'll understand that this is... I am acutely aware of these guns. I fought them a lot of times, and most times these are the scary ones. These are scary ones as well. I don't tend to be scared of most of these, but the M14 is painful to fight. Typically, people will think that they're hacking whenever they get shot by someone M14ing. And remember, sometimes people are losers and they do auto-click with it to show you what that's like. I think it, I don't know if my auto-clicker is at the right speed. It is. To remind you, you can do that. It's also incredibly lame, and I prefer that you have any fun ever. So, if your click speed is good, I would recommend doing this. But it is difficult, and it hurts the fingers, so I would maybe recommend a more, less carpal tunnel fucking gun. Either way, you hear it, you understand. Most of these guns are pretty simple, you know, compensator, accuracy roll, whatever the hell their problem is. For most SMGs, it's accuracy barrel. For most rifles, it's compensator. I like red dot on almost every single thing. But it kind of depends. All that depends on how you use it, how you want to hear it. Remember, because guns it can mix you up, but you need to understand. For instance, this is an important one. This is what a VSS sounds like. This is what a VSS sounds like with spray. It sounds different, quite a bit different. To you it might not, but this is what it sounds like with a legendary spray. You hear that, you should be terrified. Understand that. You should be terrified. If you hear this, go to this. It is not a fun thing to fight. Legendary spray is a fucking problem. And so, remember, these sounds are already very unique in TABG. Most guns have their own unique sound. You can hear exactly where someone is firing all around you if you're wearing headphones. Except vertically, the audio's fucked, at least according to computery. But the spray will give you a lot of indication and how someone fires a weapon. Their cadence will tell you a lot about who they are as a player. And so, as I say, again, if you hear someone firing an AUG like this, without the legendary spray, that should be a whole lot less scary to you than hearing someone firing an AUG like this. And that goes for most guns. Understand that sometimes as well, people desync. Sometimes you'll see someone running around, jumping, looking at you, doing this thing. And you'll be taking damage. The game desyncs. Sometimes they do just have a gun out. Actually, almost all the time they have the gun out. The game just failed to tell you that they have a gun out, failed to tell the server that they have a gun out. So no one else can hear them, but they are shooting you with a gun. Can make it pretty painful for things like a katana, because that will happen with melees as well. Another big issue is that sometimes the game will get confused as to what gun someone is firing, so you'll hear a grapple being fired at the pace of a Browning, which is a problem, because you see the grapple work and suddenly they become a spiker. And that would matter. Sometimes you'll hear your teammates always shooting is what I call the bug. You'll just hear them always shooting. You'll hear that, and it'll just continually go on. If you hear that going on, hey, say to your teammate, empty your mag, switch to another gun. Yeah, empty your mag, switch to another gun, switch back, I think is the fix for that. And that'll fix it. That'll make it so you don't have to deal with that anymore. Sometimes, remember, suppressor exists, and so just because you don't hear someone doesn't mean that they're not shooting you. It also doesn't mean you can't see them. Remember, a lot of times people will sit there on a hill suppressed, and there are people, like, if I was to look at this image right now, if I was to flick around, looking for things, well, that color doesn't look like it fits in, that color doesn't look like it fits in. There are a lot of pixels here that look like, that doesn't look like part of the terrain, And so remember, if something catches your eye, and it catches your eye and you say, wait, what the fuck was that? It was likely a person. There is no wind in TABG. There is no natural movement in TABG. If you see anything at all, it was a person. Sometimes you can open your inventory and see things moving around. Some cosmetics do that. The radiator on the burst gun does that. The teleport book does that. If you see something moving, it is a person. Remember that. Anyway, hope you all enjoy. Hope you enjoyed. I know it's a little more annoying than the usual one, but I'll talk to you later.